5 seconds. 4, 3,
get your camera,
2, 1.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره. Oh, I thought he did all that already. So bad I am right now. Alhamdulillah.
Which part's the camera?
The middle. The batteries on the top. Okay. How that look?
Yeah. I'm sure you showed your shirt.
I will. Actually, see it now.
Is it big?
Put the battery in. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا فمن يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alhamdulillah. I apologize, even though it wasn't my fault, but it is my fault because I'm the host of the show, so we're late today. It's like 3 or 4 minutes. I apologize. It's very, very not like us. If I may put them 2 words in the same category, very not like, don't even sound right. But alhamdulillah, we're here and want to send a salam to all of our listeners tonight that are Muslim around the world, alhamdulillah. And we want to say peace and greetings to all of our non-Muslim listeners. Whether you're here with good intentions or bad intentions, you're welcome anyway. Welcome to the show, alhamdulillah. This is how we roll. Alhamdulillah, that's the hard truth. So I hope y'all are okay with that, alhamdulillah. Before we get started, let me stand up, show my t-shirt. I'm not set tripping. This is an actual Islamic program here, alhamdulillah. And inshallah, so I don't have to stand up no more, inshallah, on the show. Alhamdulillah, one of the things, or one of the situations we face is losing our youth to this dunya, to this worldly life. And I'm a father with many, many kids. Alhamdulillah, I have 7 kids. And I see the struggles that my children go through. And not even thinking about the children, I see the struggles I go through. You know, trying to hold on to this deen, trying to be the best Muslim that we can be and the best example for our children. But still, we still find our children, you know, getting involved with gangs, getting involved with drugs, you know, leaving off the sunnah, running away from the deen because of the peer pressure that they're faced with every day in life. It's a very, very saddening situation for the Muslim Ummah, because we, as we get older, we know we're getting closer to death. And we know that we have to leave this deen to our children. Now, the thing is, Allah is the protector of our deen. He's the protector of the religion, no problem. If you know the story of the elephant in Surah Fil and Surah Buruj, those 2 swords go together, actually, for people who don't know, when the elephants came to attack the Kaaba. Excuse me. We know that Allah protected this house. So Allah will protect the deen. Of course, we want our children to be the ones that Allah used. You know, we don't want our children to be the ones that are left to the wayside, who are imitating the disbelievers. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, if you imitate the people, then you're of those people. So we always want to be mindful of that. But the thing is, when dealing with our young, it's hard in America. I don't know about the rest of the world, but it's hard in America because the parents have to work. The parents have to survive. And most times, if there's a husband and wife family, guess what? The husband and the wife usually has to work just to maintain and provide for the family. Now, the thing is, let's take my situation. And alhamdulillah, I'm trying to leave off the work I'm doing just to concentrate on this. But a lot of times when I do my construction work and I'm working on people's houses and buildings and so on and so forth, building things, and I put in long hours to provide for my family. And once I come home and leave the masjid for salat, I'm tired. I'm very tired. I'm very sleepy, and sometimes there's no teaching going on in my house because of me being fatigued for trying to fulfill another obligation that Allah Azza wa Jal has commanded us on taking care of the families. We find this a lot, especially in America, and you hear this complaint from a lot of men, because of course the men want to be at home, they want to be teaching their family religion, but in this capitalist society and this shaitanic society, because that's what it is, it's designed to keep you busy so that you will be taken away from the remembrance of Allah. That's what it is. I mean, it's very simple. It's 1 + 1 = 2. It's very simple. 1 + 1 = 2, right? Okay, just want to make sure, inshallah. But alhamdulillah. But the thing is, we are grateful for the people who step up. You know, the people who go out of their ways to help our young people, where a lot of us as parents maybe fall short, or we're forced to fall short, you know. And also a lot of times there are a lot of Muslims, young Muslims, people who become Muslim, who don't have that role model, who don't have that a family, a father or mother who is Muslim, a brother, sister who's already Muslim. They don't have that role model. So alhamdulillah, we have people like our sisters here and other people out there who like Brother Naeem's wife, who have their program, and the brothers who do Jawala Scouts and all these different people like that, who step up and help take on some of the responsibility. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah, when we come back, we're going to talk to our sisters here. We're going to have our sisters introduce themselves and tell us a little about your organization. So please stay tuned, inshallah, and we'll be right back. And that is the hard truth.
The Hard Truth is sponsored by Ask a Muslim. If you want to know how to fix your car, ask a mechanic. If you want to know about the law, ask a lawyer. And if you want to know about Islam, ask a Muslim. Bringing the truth about Islam one person at a time. Visit the website at www.askamuslim.com or call in toll free 1-855-968-2756.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So, my sisters, let's jump into this. Alhamdulillah. Introduce yourself.
Okay.
Her name is Samaiyyah Hassan.
Hassan.
Evidently, she was hollering at somebody today because she lost her voice. And sis?
My name is Baria Alaji.
Baria?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Baria what?
Alaji.
Alaji. Alhamdulillah. So, sisters, please tell us about your organization. Tell the world out there about the world is in that camera.
Okay, well, FYI stands for the Foundation for Youth in Islam. And our mission statement is to implement, cultivate, and direct our youth to Islamic moral values by establishing a Sunnah of Rasulullah. And we believe strongly, as all Muslims should, is that by establishing a Sunnah of Rasulullah, the sooner we establish, the better we will become.
Alhamdulillah.
As people.
Allahu Akbar. So, your focus is the kids, of course, and what age ranges do you usually deal with? And do you deal with both male and female?
We deal with both male and female. And the thing is, our focus is the youth. However, right now, the organization, we established it in February of this year. So it's very new, it's still in the baby stages. So we figured that before we could even work with the youth, first we have to get our communities together. You know, so in order to pass things down to the youth, we have to make sure that the adults are together and that the adults are right. So our focus right now being, you know, with the organization being so new, is to bring about unity in the communities. We're based south of Atlanta, and so what we see in our communities is that there's a lot of division, and the division amongst the, you know, within a community is killing us. It's killing the community. There's so many masjids within just, you know, maybe like a 5 mile radius, so to speak. And on one hand, it's good to have so many masjids, you know, because alhamdulillah, then that means there's more places that, you know, people can pray. However, it's causing the division. And we're spending the money to, you know, build these masjids left and right. But in turn, there's no community centers for the kids. You know, it's only so much you can do in a masjid because it's the masjid, and the masjid is set for praying. So that's our focus right now, is pretty much uniting the communities, especially with a focus of the masjids south of Atlanta.
Alhamdulillah. Now, excuse me. Uniting the masjids.
Right.
Lord have mercy.
I know.
This has been a struggle for years, and I say this because, alhamdulillah, I've been Muslim over 20 years now, alhamdulillah. And we have seen this struggle since I first became Muslim. You know, the finger pointing, the backbiting, the slandering amongst the communities, you know. And the problem with that is what? Adhering to the Quran and Sunnah. That is the problem. You have so many people who want to deal with their desires, you know, want to interpret something outside of the way of Allah and His Messenger. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And excuse me, I'm sorry, I got something going on here, so alhamdulillah. So how do you, or what is your plan on going about trying to rectify some of these issues that we face? I mean, because you got to look at it. You have different Aqidah, you have a different belief system in some sajids. You have different interpretations. You have racism. You have statusism. You have classism. You know, you have tribalism. You know, you have all these isms. So what plan do you have? What's your plan of attack? You know, how are you going to get in there and try to debunk all these isms and call the people to the Quran and Sunnah?
First, we just want to be Muslimism.
Muslimism.
Muslimism. But that's, I mean, we just really want to call the people, pretty much make the people aware that this is something that we can't kind of like skip over. You know, it needs to be addressed. I mean, really, what is the, you know, if somebody can like call in and let me know so that I can have a better understanding of what's the point of throwing up all these different masjids?
Kibber.
What's that?
Arrogance, pride, you know. People want to be in charge. Now, there's a masjid, a very popular masjid, and it's actually popular around probably the world, in Columbus, Ohio. They broke up 3 times. And the first time they broke up is because of the treatment of the African American people who attend the masjid. Meaning they weren't allowed to sit on the board outside of, you can put together sports and amusement. But when it comes to the major decisions, you know, Junebug sit in the back, you don't know what you're doing, pretty much. And because of this, a group of African Americans broke off from that masjid. But then they had another break off. But this break off wasn't really a bad one because the imam would give the khutbah in Arabic, English, and then Somali. So what they did, they opened up another masjid down the street and started giving the khutbah in the one for English and Arabic and one for Arabic and Somali. So, you know, to help benefit the people, so which is understandable. But the people actually know that this is a problem. But the problem is some people don't care it's a problem. You know, some people are happy and they think for some reason that you know that they're correct and that the next man is wrong, or the next man thinks he's correct and that man is wrong. And we find, I've not been to one masjid where I have not found something wrong in that masjid. And I'm talking about from the Tabliki to the Salafi, from whoever to whoever. I go in some masjids, they're in circles, you know, making dhikr and Sufi stuff, you know. You go to some masjids and there's no khushu' in the prayer because they're so worried about how a person is dressed and where he's standing like, and you know, he's not concentrating on the prayer. There's no crying in the salat. You know, you go to some masjids and they hate Arabs. You know, some masjids, Arabs hate them, you know. So it is all I can say is, sister, ready for your sword now. We get ready to do battle, inshallah. Now, inshallah.
I think that, yeah, you are absolutely right with the divisions amongst the Muslims. But it really, the bottom line is that it has to go back to the Quran and the Sunnah. Nobody can battle with that if you come in with that. You don't care what brother has an issue with another brother, what sister has an issue with another sister. If you're establishing the Sunnah of Rasulullah with the correct niyyah, Allah is going to handle the rest.
Alhamdulillah.
You know, and another thing is that it isn't new. This has been going on since the Prophet Muhammad.
So
what are we trying to change by saying there ain't going to be no division? There's not going to be any type of misunderstandings, and some brother's not going to like another. That's going to always be from the beginning to the end. We're not going to be able to avoid that, but we have to push forward. We can't give up.
You never give up.
We have to continue to try to establish the Sunnah of Rasulullah.
And
that's what it comes back.
And if you look at the Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said that Allah will bring the communities together, and this could be a first step. You know, it's going to happen regardless. It's going to happen. It's something we cannot get away from. You know, even with the fitna going overseas, it's going to force the hand of something bigger. It's something that we cannot get away from. And you know, I know a lot of times the Muslims, they sit in their comfortable chairs and they lean back and yeah, I'm good. That's not us. But guess what, people? You better wake up. I mean, hard truth is going to affect you. The Prophet ﷺ said that when one part of the body ache, the whole of the body aches. And we have to be mindful of that, inshallah. So, alhamdulillah. Now, I got your back on this. Okay, Brother Muhammad Hard Truth Smith, I got y'all back, alhamdulillah. And Sister Zahara, Queen Zahara, you know she got your back. We got your back. So, alhamdulillah, because it's a noble cause. And the problem is, you cannot be afraid to stand up for what's noble. You cannot be afraid to stand up for what's correct. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you see an injustice, do what? Change it with your hand. And if you cannot do that, then speak out against it. And if you cannot do that, then change it in your heart. And that's the weakness of faith. That's the weakness of the iman. So we want to change it in the best manner that we can, inshallah. I'm not with that heart stuff, you know. We don't do the hard stuff. We're going to either say something about it or we're going to stop it with our hands, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. So now, we know the Quran and Sunnah is the common ground. And you do have men that sit with you guys as part of your organization?
Actually, we did have a brother who came out and sat with us in a meeting and gave his point of views and his ideas. So absolutely, yes, it's not something where it's just for sisters, because when it's about the community, it can't be just for sisters. It's going to take everybody, so absolutely. I mean, we've held town hall meetings where we pretty much pulled in everybody from the neighboring communities. And so, but yes, to answer your question, is absolutely open to both brothers and sisters.
Alhamdulillah. We're going to take a quick break, inshallah, and we'll get back with our sisters here. And I cannot see this because I got two people at my table. I usually don't have that many people at my table, so I'm take left. Yeah, so okay, alhamdulillah. So we're going to take a quick break, inshallah, and we'll be right back. And that's the hard truth, inshallah.
The best quality of 24 karat gold with it. AA Jewelry Store located at 2210 Morse Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43229, Suite U1. Inshallah, you will find the most beautiful rings, necklaces, and much, much more. Give them a call, 614-269-8874, or email them at globalcohio@hotmail.com. That's GLOBALCOHIO@hotmail.com.
Taz New and Used Tires, located at 3910 Cleveland Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, specializes in the best quality services and new and used tires. Taz also mounts and laser balances all tires. Give Taz a call and tell him Muhammad Archie Smith sent you.
Alhamdulillah. Now, you know, y'all threw me off guard a little bit with this. I thought we was going to talk about the kids. This is part of it. You're right. Alhamdulillah. It's very important that we break and destroy the barrier that exists. And one of the biggest barriers that we have to face is the marriage amongst one another. Now, I say this because the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he said that if a man comes to you and wants to marry your daughter and you are pleased with his religion, then you should marry him to your daughter, or else there will be great fitna throughout the land. And a lot of times we have this thing where we don't want our child to be married to someone unless they are from our own race, our own culture, our own tribe, or so on and so forth. And this is one of the tricks of shaitan. But you still find people who do it. Oh, brother, you don't make enough money. Oh, brother, you don't have a college education. Oh, brother, you're not from my race, or you're not from my tribe. I was amazed to talk to some Somalians. They do not marry outside of their tribe. Allah says in the Quran, He said, verily we have made you in tribes and nations that you get to know one another. Right? That we get to know one another. Imagine if everybody in the world looked like me, talked like me, did everything like me. It would be a very, very, very boring world. I mean, think about it. I might be entertaining you here, but 24/7, no. It's not going to work. But think about Allah, out of His mercy, has created so many different people, so many different colors, so many different sizes, so many different languages, so many different cultures, and you can get to know one another. So imagine, like they did back in the old days, when they wanted to bring two countries together, they did it through what? Through marriage. Marriage is a good thing to bring people together. So imagine if maybe someone from the Pakistani masjid had a daughter and she was Pakistani. I hate to say Pakistani masjid, but they have it. We have them in Columbus. It is what it is. It should just be a masjid, but it's the hard truth. Yes, exactly. And that they came and married someone from the African American community, or maybe someone from the Arab community married someone from a Bangladesh community. You know, start cutting up the ties and the boundaries and all these things. And I'm gonna tell you, in my personal opinion, it's not the older people you have to target. It's the younger people. These are the people, because we're gonna be dead, in a couple of years. Allah, we don't got too much time left on this earth, But the bottom line is, we have to start targeting the younger generation. Because some of the older generation, yes, they are still saying to the young people, only marry in your tribe, only do this. And a lot of young people sit there like, okay, Pops, all right, I like her. She's from, I like him, So it is breaking up, alhamdulillah. So y'all had a carnival.
We did.
Tell me about the carnival, inshallah.
Carnival was great, alhamdulillah. It was a fundraiser to um, get our funds up for Eid. And so, alhamdulillah, we surpassed our goal.
Allahu Akbar.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, we made well over our goal. So that was a good thing. And even with the Eid, it's like at some masjids, that's all they give you is Eid. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where, okay, hey, we'll take Eid, but that's not enough. You know what I'm saying? We have to.
It's supposed to be a celebration.
Absolutely. Yeah, right. That's right. But we still need more stuff outside of Eid. Not just, hey, you know what, just give them a nice party and they'll be quiet. You know, so it's one of those things where we're to the point like, I'm not really just gonna like ask you. I'm just more so gonna tell you that this is what we're gonna do because it's something that it needs to be done. So alhamdulillah, yes, we're starting with Eid because Eid is around the corner and the kids deserve a good Eid, especially those who are, 5 years old, 6 year old, and they're fasting the whole day. Alhamdulillah. But the goals are beyond Eid. Like I said, the town hall meeting is to bring everybody together to talk about the different issues that's going on in the community. Also to bring about awareness in the community. So the carnival was just, okay, hey, you all come together. But there's a bigger picture outside of that, especially with making sure that we keep the money inside the community. That's a big problem.
You know what? I'm going to bring somebody on the line right fast. And I love the way he explains keeping the money in the community.
Okay.
Inshallah. Brother Shahidullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam. She just, did you hear what she said, right?
I'm watching it on YouTube and I'm listening, but I'm really trying to watch it on YouTube and it's slower. So when you're covering one thing, so it's kind of strange. So I really didn't get a chance to hear what she said. I probably would have heard it while I was watching it live. I know where I'm at right now. She's talking about the carnival and raising money for the Eid and so on and so forth. And I see those pastries right there too.
Yes, alhamdulillah. Listen, I have been eating so good since I've been in Atlanta. I might not ever go back to Ohio.
I bet. Man, you gonna make me gas up and come on down there.
Brother, I wish you would. I told you come with me. Listen, I went to class today on Sylvan Road and got some macaroni and cheese, some black-eyed peas, some barbecue chicken wings, some rice, some cornbread, and a big old cup of yams. And the yams. Can't forget about the yams. I said, boy, Subhanallah. Okay, let's get back on the topic here. Alhamdulillah. Now, what she said was, she said, keeping the money in the Muslim community. Now, I know this is something you are very eminent about. He's very eminent about. So,
yes, I say so.
And tell her what you always tell the Muslims about keeping that money in our community. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Well, the first thing is looking at what we spend our money on. That's the first thing. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask for risk. We're begging Allah, give us some risk. Allah give it to us. And then what do? We squander it. And we do it in the name of, my son, Muhammad, he did so good in school. He said, he wanted these, these shoes, and the thing about it is the products that we go out and buy, those same people, if you were to make a product, they would never come to you and buy it. If you had a service, they would not come to you and buy that service unless it's a form of entertainment. That's the only thing that they're willing to spend their money on when it comes to us. And now, when I say us, I'm talking about the indigenous African American Muslim. The only thing that they're willing to spend money on is entertainment. And that's why it's so important when it comes to our services. We have to make sure that our services are top notch. Go and don't try to slack or cut corners. And if we have a product that we're selling, then we have to make sure that it is
We have,
You
we
can't have
did,
Shaq.
our organization did the same thing, at the first town hall meeting that we held. We did circulate a sign-in sheet. One was just so that we can have a contact list of everybody in the community, and we have to tell the people, like, it's okay to give us your address and to give us your phone number. It's for your own benefit so that we can make sure you're okay. You know what I mean? We have widows, we have elderly people that we're not checking up on. So, we did that, and then we had a separate sign-in sheet for those who do have some sort of service or products that they'll like to share with the community. And so even though this topic is not so much about the youth, but it's more so about setting the example for the youth, establishing something so that they can take over when it's their time. But we have to get ourselves right before we can even pass anything off to the youth. So I mean,
you got to establish something. That's right. Lay the foundation.
But the problem is, and you guys hit it on the nail earlier, everyone wants to keep throwing up massages. Massages. We're not building institutions.
No.
We're not building schools.
No.
We're not developing houses for Muslims. No. We're not developing clinics for Muslims, hospitals for Muslims. Why? When you have...
How can we don't even have a janaza fund for the Muslims? We should at least have a janaza fund.
Right.
But my point is, why? Why, when you have 1 million Muslims in one state, if one Muslim gave $1 to a common goal, imagine the effect. And if you think about it, I can afford $1 a month. I can afford $1 a month.
What you're saying, all the Muslims would have to do is afford $1.
$1 a month.
If you have 1 million, and that's a complex right there.
But you know the problem is?
It's gonna be where it's
who's going to run it?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I think this. Well, I think that. Well, we should accept this. No.
Right.
We accept the Quran and Sunnah.
Right.
That's all we accepted.
Right.
You're not coming up in here with no craziness, no madness, talking about, well, this is my culture. Well, you know what? Tell your culture to beat his feet.
Right.
We don't deal with culture. We deal with the deen. Alhamdulillah. Yes, ma'am.
I think the majority of Muslims that try to do the cultural, dominance is only because maybe that culture has put forth so much money towards the activity or the masjid, or so they feel like they have a right. No. Whereas if it is the community, everyone put the equal dollar, everyone has an equal say, everyone has an equal right as a Muslim. So I think that a lot of that cultural division comes from, this is our message because we bought it. We made it, and we have every right to have a board here, and we can allow what goes up and what goes down, So I think that's where it comes from.
That is something that's not acceptable.
And it's not.
I mean, we have to stop that. And I mean, it just doesn't make sense that none of us are on a board, and none of us are leading the khutbahs and the salats and different things of that nature. And we have to ask ourselves, are we sending our boys? Are we sending our boys to go study wherever it is they're going to study, come back and reach a community? I knew that was the thing. That was my cue.
Keep your point though. We're going to get right back to you.
I heard it too.
No, definitely sure. Definitely.
Looking for a quality used cars? Look no further than Spectrum Motor One. Located at 3238 West Seville Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43231. Not only does Spectrum offer good quality cars, but also a nationwide warranty, 40-point inspection, 5-year pay year, 0 interest, as well as halal Islamic financing. Call Spectrum 814-477-4388 and email them at spectrummotor1@gmail.com. And if you tell them Muhammad Hartman sent you, expect a 30% discount, and that's the hard truth.
Furniture Lane, Ohio, located at 1395 Morse Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43229. Furniture Lane, Ohio offers the most beautiful furniture for a beautiful price. Good and durable. We stand behind the product. Quality, service, and great deals. At ymail.com. And if you tell them Muhammad Hartus Smith, you will get 10% off the purchase, inshallah. That's the all truth.
Alhamdulillah, so go ahead and finish your point, inshallah. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I know you ate your,
Yeah,
it's water.
that's okay. I'm watching that. So I was just saying that, you know, we definitely have to establish the community, but make sure that we're sending our boys, you know, to go study so that they come back and lead their community. You know what I'm saying? We have to change this thing. We complain about we don't have any Muslim doctors, or the brothers have to see female doctors. Okay, are you sending your son to school to be a doctor? Are you sending your daughter to be to school, you know, to go to school to be a lawyer? You know, anything to benefit the community.
Now, with that being said, Dr. Marwan is the person who started Ask a Muslim. He's a doctor. And Ohio State has a lot of Muslims that's daughters to be doctors. So we do have a lot of, alhamdulillah, a lot of doctors. Not a lot in our community, you know. Well, I don't mean our community, but you know.
No, our community.
Yeah, it is what it is. But,
right, about you, I mean.
but, alhamdulillah. But, you know, going overseas to get the language. Because if you want to know this Quran, you got to know that language.
Right.
You know, if you want to know Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, you got to understand what Alhamd is, what Rabbil is, what Alameen is. You know, you have to understand what you're saying. You know, all the praises, any type of praise that is great and grander only belongs to Allah Azza wa Jalla. You know, who is the Rabbil, who's the Lord of everything that exists. Everything that you see, everything you don't see, the worlds of the ghaib, of the unseen, you know, of the under the water, the sea, and outer space. I tell people all the time. They say, Brother Muhammad, do you believe in aliens? I say, it really it's not for me to say, because we could be an alien to somebody else, but it really doesn't for me to, it don't fit me to say, you know, whether they exist or not. But one thing I can guarantee you, if they do exist, they have to worship Allah. I guarantee you that. Because Allah is the Lord of all the worlds. So however you want to interpret that, I don't care if it's a man flying through outer space on something, or meteor, or whatever he want to fly on, I guarantee you he has to submit to Allah. And so this is what we have to understand. But you have to get the language. You have to understand the difference between the shower and Allah uses Ghashiyah and Gishawa. You know, when he uses them in different contexts, one is Surah Baqarah and one is Surah Halatak Hadith al-Ghashiyah. So the language is very important. And me, myself, I want to go. Even at my old age, you know, all this gray in my beard and everything, I still want to go.
Just make sure you come back.
Oh, I'll come back, inshallah. I'm
going
to come back. And I'm going to say, hey, y'all, I'm going back overseas.
Right. That's what happened.
I mean, because the reason why it happens like that is because you know, you want to live under a Muslim rule. I mean, if you can, that's always the best thing. That's what we should be striving for. And I'm a worker though. And I tell my wife, you know, when we was talking about leaving, she'll tell you, I'm kind of for and I'm kind of against it. Because I feel like I'm the type of person I'm the last man that's going to leave. I'm going to make sure all my Muslim people are safe. You know, I'm going to be the one standing at the back with a sword. The rest of y'all go ahead, and then once you're safe, I'm right behind you. You know, and that's just my mentality. And I use that on the pretense of giving dawah. Not saying I'm about to go out here and start chopping people's heads off, nothing like that. But on the pretense of giving dawah, you know, and making sure that the language is preserved here, and from what I know, my little bit of knowledge, and making sure the deen is preserved here. You know, so that is something that we have to look at as Muslims, yeah, we want everybody to want to lead, but a lot of times, if everyone leaves, who's going to be left to do the work?
Right.
You know, so, but the danger of it is what? Our children.
Right.
That is the danger.
Right.
Because as long as we're staying here, we're leaving our children vulnerable to losing their religion, losing their Islamic identity.
But are they being vulnerable because we're not setting stuff up for them?
That's a big problem.
That's my thing, you know?
And I agree with you 100%. And that bothers me. Like, then we go back to the point. We're steady building masajids.
Absolutely.
But we're not building anything else.
They're not learning life skills. They don't know how to swim. I mean, even to go swim, if we don't have some sort of rec center where they could come in and their instructor is Muslim, and we send them to the YMCA to go learn how to swim, which is a life skill, their teacher may be a male. You know, and they have to hold them, you know what I'm saying, to teach them how to swim. So it's like, I mean, this is not just like stuff that's for fun. No, it's a life skill. Archery is a life skill.
Yeah.
You know, martial arts is a life skill. Our sons need to learn how to protect their
and our women.
And our women,
Yeah,
you know, we need to learn how to protect each other.
So we're not going to always be around, so we got to call on a lot. This is, you know, this is Queen Zahara.
My sister.
You already know. Assalamu alaikum, baby. Welcome to the.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You know, I got to call in and shout my sister out real quick. Shout out to my girls and my new sister, Faria. Alhamdulillah. The show, this is some really, really good information, alhamdulillah, and I am just so proud of my sister. I know nothing of her other than trying to establish, you know, something to this effect, you know, entrepreneurship, you know, leadership. And I want to add to the discussion, of course, about Foundation for Youth Islam. One of the things I want to say is, before we can establish the Foundation for the Youth in Islam, one of the things we have to keep our focus on is we have to make sure that we maintain a foundation of brotherhood and sisterhood as the adults. Because once the youth see that there is an established foundation amongst the adults, and what are the adults doing, and how the adults taking the position of leadership in the community, and what are they doing, and able to see, oh, the sisters get together and they do this, the sisters get together and they do this, the brothers get together and they do this. This is one of the things that make the children want to follow. Absolutely. I want to be like that aunt right there. Absolutely. I want to be like Sister So-and-so right there. So when we have so much division amongst ourselves as adults, it's hard for us to come together to establish anything that we can do for the youth. So it's also very important that we try to keep healthy ties, amongst ourselves as adults living this life of Islam in American Muslim communities. And for Samaiyyah, Sister Samaiyyah, I have to say, she is really a major factor in me wanting to be Atlanta bound. You know, because I know that I can happily say I have 11 and a half years of sisterhood with this sister. You know, alhamdulillah. And you know, before I moved away, you know, this is exactly what we were doing, establishing things in the community. You know, things to come together for the children. You know, for the adults, just for the Muslims, period. And so it's beautiful to see her continuing on, and you know, her bringing about new soldiers, you know, to do the same thing and prepare to get things established for the next generation of Muslims. Absolutely. Because it is important, you know, me being raised as Muslim, alhamdulillah, I can honestly say I watched my mother in an African American Muslim community. I watched the sisters come together and teach drill team. I watched them come together and sew and learn prayer and, you know, things like that. And so, you know, this is why, you know, you can look back and say, as a child, oh, I had a ball at Eid. I'm going to make sure we had a ball during Eid time. So I completely understand and agree and am on board 100% with this is exactly where it's needed, you know, and may Allah bless it. And anything that I can do to aid it, even in country Ohio, I'm on it, you know, and I'm trying to be on the next thing smoking better, you know, and play a part and help.
Absolutely. We'll be waiting for you, inshallah.
Well, I want to ask you a question, man. Didn't I give you shot?
Absolutely.
Oh man, I'm no wonder I'm getting all these bags. I'm stacking up. Keep going, girl. All that stuff.
I mean, yeah. So
keep rolling. I need all them bags.
Right here.
He gave Richard. Look, he gave you shahada and he sent you around the corner of my house.
Right, exactly. Get up on the bar. Yeah, alhamdulillah. So we'll be waiting for you though. You know, we'll be waiting for you. We have a lot of things that we have to work on. So this is one of those things that you know, we may not see it until the next 5-10 years, you know, but we have to start somewhere. And it's not just about activities, but we're definitely starting with bringing the communities together and definitely putting an end to this division. You know, it's not even like an option. It's one of those things like it has to happen, point blank, period. And that's just the hard truth.
That's the hard truth. You heard it right there, inshallah.
That's the hard truth.
That's the hard truth. Alhamdulillah.
That's right, alhamdulillah.
We're going to take our
and let's also make sure that, last thing, let's also make sure that while we are establishing the foundation of Islam for our youth, you know, that we also keep the forefront in teaching them fear of Allah, you know, and keep Kabbalah, because those are the real tools that they will need to establish a foundation of Islam as they grow. Without Kabbalah, it's nothing.
Right.
You know, so I know a lot of times, you know, if I may speak to a sister and she may make reference about something about her child, and I have to say, okay, you read the Quran at night to her, or do you read in the Quran and discuss the Quran with her, and they're just like absolutely absurd, like it's just completely unheard of. It's like, oh wow, I didn't even think about that. So it's like, wow, that's really mind blowing that you didn't think that even once read Quran with your child.
Right.
You know, so we have to make sure we are keeping that kitab open and, you know, reading the surah. Okay, what does this mean to you? You understand what Allah is talking about in this? You know, not just that they are trying to hafiz Quran, you know, in Arabic, but understanding what they're saying so it can penetrate the heart so that they can implement it. And then once again, establish a foundation for Islam. Inshallah.
No, I
love you for the sake of Allah.
I love you too, sis.
Do you love me too? Can I get some love? Goodness.
I think that was across the
you know, you got that.
I got special love coming. I'm shit. I love you too. I love you too, girl. And I use this and all you know, I really, before I take you off the air, man, you know, I really have to take my kufi off to you. That's a thing I can use. Because women, y'all have something special when it comes to the children. I remember a few nights ago when I was in Ohio, and my wife, she got up for Fajr. You know, we got the kids to the bus stop. She went and did her college stuff, you know, and then had to go somewhere else to another school, to the actual college itself. And she came home, sat down with Yum Yum, and she's tired. Sat on the bed with Yum Yum and said, A, B, and I'm sitting there like, how the heck are you doing this right now? Because a man, we'd be like, with sous vide, some chicken and some, A, B, C. You know, right. I don't know how y'all went, alhamdulillah, may Allah bless you. Yeah, alhamdulillah, it's definitely a gift. But this is why the Prophet ﷺ said that the paradise lies is feeding your mother, you know. And he asked who do you owe the most to, he said your mother. He says, who else your mother? He said, who else your mother? Then he said, your father. And then we know also, and Khutbah al-Hajj, when Allah says, يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق من زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. On that part, Allah says, fear Allah and do not cut off the womb, the arham, the merciful part of the woman that protects the kid, the arham. Do not cut off our hand. Because verily Allah Azza means do not cut the ties with your mother. Because verily Allah Azza to watch over you. So inshallah, Jazakallah khair, we're going to take the next caller, inshallah. And shukran, sweetheart. I'll talk to you later, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, well, of course. Assalamu alaikum, ya Sister Rashida. I know you know my heart.
You called me by name right away.
Now listen.
Wa
alaikum salam. Now we can't be too long because the brother is allowing us to use his Wi-Fi. For some reason, the Wi-Fi is not working tonight. He has to go. So I need you to be very quick, inshallah.
I'm not going to be long at all, but I tell you, I'm older, and it's something Allah is doing with me and gave me that I have to be the one that says stuff that people don't say. The program is very excellent. The sisters the mothers are really, stepping up to do the work for their children and, and trying to establish the deen and so forth and so on. But that is not the sunnah according to the spirit. Where are the men? Where are the men?
Absolutely.
Muhammad, you're doing a wonderful job. You're a great example of the men. But we have to remember that there's no leadership of women without an amir. So in every city that, you have women stepping up, the men, their husbands or an amir should be representing what those sisters are trying to do or represent as well. The children need fathers to stand out front and represent, fatherhood. And for some reason I feel this is the black syndrome, spirit. The spirit of this is the black syndrome. So in conclusion, with what I have to say, I'm left with nothing but a dua that the women, and this is to the women in that audience right there, anybody else listening, we have to make dua that we get some strong men representing the sunnah of the Prophet just like the Muhammad. She's laughing with her husband because he's doing the word. They have the harmony, they have the family life. He's the leader of the family. He's in the mirror, he's doing the dawah. This is the kind of men we need across the board for the whole ummah to be successful. And that's Islam. That's Islam. There's nothing that a woman does without an amir. And that's all I have to say.
Jazakallah khair, Sister Rashida. And inshallah, we want to, I have to get with you before I leave now. You know why? I got that gift for you now.
And I need my gift.
I know.
I'm having it at the masjid tomorrow. I'm having it at my house tomorrow, inshallah.
You having a what tomorrow?
Ginger.
Oh, the ginger drink? Oh, okay. Well, I got to charge you for doing a free commercial on my show. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah. Alhamdulillah. I get a free cup. Inshallah. You have to make it quick because he needs phone.
So can we continue without the
Well, I just wanted to add to Sister Rashida. Allah says in the Quran, and that's just showing, Allah says that the males are the qawamun, which are the pegs. Qawam is like a peg, and a peg is something that holds it together. You can have a tent, but without the pegs, it's not going to stay up. So being that Allah says, just added to Sister Rashida's point, is that we need the men for our pegs to keep it together, because we can make all type of ideas and they can fall apart without the qawam.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair, sisters. I'm sorry that we have to end now, but I really appreciate you guys for coming. It was very special, alhamdulillah. And like we always say at this time, if we say anything that was incorrect, that was wrong, that was offensive, that just hurt your feelings, we apologize. That is not our niyyah. Our niyyah is to call the people to the truth. And if the truth hurts them, we have no qualm in that. That is not our problem. That's your problem, because sometimes the truth is going to hurt. Sometimes the truth hurts me. The truth will definitely hurt you, but it can set you free, inshallah. So alhamdulillah, If we said anything tonight that is inspiring, that is enlightening, that makes you want to be a better Muslim, that makes you want to be other part of the Sabiqun, those who are foremost in the religion, those who make you want to be Qaribullah, those who are closer to Allah Azza wa Jalla, maybe it even makes you want to aspire to be Muslim, then verily all the praise is due to Allah Azza wa Jalla, for He's the one who holds the hearts in His grasp. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. That's the hard truth. Jazakallah khair for everyone coming in, and we are out of here. Assalamu alaikum. We good.